blue or pink? What colour truly suits Aurora? Princess Aurora's ball gown has been a topic of debate since Walt Disney Studios released Sleeping Beauty in 1959, particularly regarding the colour of said dress. Throughout the film, two of the three main fairies, Flora and Merryweather, argue over whether Aurora's gown should be pink or blue, while Fauna stays neutral. This made me wonder, was their fighting a subtle nod to the Disney animators being indecisive about the dress colour themselves? Yet, when I searched Google for answers, I couldn't find any information to confirm this theory. Still, a bigger question remains. Is there an objective answer to this age-old debate? I'm Liv of Inner Glow Styling, and I help young women transform their personal styles so they can overcome insecurities and confidently show up in the world. With my background in image consultancy and interest in storytelling, I believe I can get to the bottom of this debate. Sleeping Beauty was the first animated film within the Disney Studios to embrace a new artistic direction. Walt Disney was eager to distinguish this film from its predecessors, Cinderella and Snow White, by seeking out a fresh approach to the artwork and enlisted various artists to help bring his vision to life. After many revisions and concepts from different designers, Disney ultimately settled on a Gothic medieval tapestry-inspired aesthetic for the film. This influence is especially evident in Sleeping Beauty's backgrounds, which were created by Eyvind Earle with dark colours and high detail that were later airbrushed for a softer and therefore less detailed look to help the characters stand out. But why is this information relevant to Aurora's dress debate, you may ask? Well, this is because the artistic influences behind the film suggest that Aurora might be better suited to darker, colder, and more striking colours that align with the colour palette of Gothic medieval tapestry, because her character design should naturally reflect them. To ensure this is true, I will explore Aurora's natural colouring in the next chapter. However, if we are to consider the film's artistic direction alone, the pink dress would not be a great fit for the princess. It is warm and somewhat bright, apart from the dark bodice, almost completely ruling it out as a perfect fit for Aurora. On the other hand, the blue dress, though not particularly dark, somewhat fits the mould with its striking cold topaz tones. In regard to Sleeping Beauty's overall aesthetic, Princess Aurora would be better suited to the blue dress. That's a point for Team Merryweather. Sleeping Beauty's natural features, as Disney describes them, consist of hair of golden sunshine, blue eyes, and lips that shame the red, red rose. But for most of the film, she doesn't actually look like that. While there are moments where her hair gleams gold and her eyes are bright blue, her more consistent appearance is quite different. Especially in the cottage scenes. Her hair leans ashy, though sometimes warm, and her eyes are violet, though they sometimes almost look black. These inconsistencies in her colouring make seasonal colour analysis a bit of a challenge. Seasonal colour analysis is a systemic analysis of an individual's hair colour, skin colour, and eye colour to determine which group of colours suit them best. These groups are divided into four main seasons: winter, summer, spring, and autumn. Summer and winter share a cool undertone, with summer being lighter and winter darker. Meanwhile, spring and autumn lean warm, with spring favouring lighter shades and autumn richer, deeper tones. The colours that suit you best reflect the qualities found in your natural features. Now, if we analyse this picture of Aurora as she appears in the cottage scenes, with deep violet eyes, rosy skin, pink lips, and ash blonde hair, her features align closely with the winter category. Winters typically have cool undertones in their skin, with a high contrast between their features, creating a bold look. Her rare violet eyes, in particular, amplify this cool tone dramatic appearance, and in this particular picture, while her hair is light, it carries ashy tones rather than warmth. Admittedly, it is rare for someone with naturally blonde hair to be classified as a winter. However, while rare, it is still possible for someone with naturally blonde hair to be a winter. Many winters have ash blonde hair in their early childhood, and it's entirely plausible that, if Aurora is a winter, her hair simply never darkened with age. Ultimately, what makes a winter is an overall appearance of cool or ashy tones and an element of darkness. This kind of contrast is often seen in winter celebrities who have dyed their hair blonde, such as Rosé, Selena Gomez, and Liz Taylor, all of whom have dark or violet eyes that enhance their dramatic winter appearance. With this in mind, deep, cool, and jewel-tone colours, like the topaz blue of Aurora's ball gown, work best with Aurora's depiction in the cottage. However, this doesn't mean we can categorise her definitively. In other scenes, Aurora's colouring changes completely. In fact, it varies so much throughout the film that I'd be here all day trying to analyse each of the different palettes that suit her best in each individual shot and tallying up the most frequent season that appears. These inconsistencies make it difficult to say for certain which palette suits Aurora best, but I'll let you in on a secret. If her eyes are truly black, like they appear to be in most of the film, she is most certainly not a light season, like summer or spring. If you'd like to learn more about seasonal colour analysis, I will link a video below that explains it in much more detail, with real human examples that will always have consistent colouring, unlike an animated character who makes the process kind of confusing. That being said, if we base things purely on Disney's intended vision of Aurora, with golden hair, bright blue eyes, and their overall warm, glowing beauty, then everything shifts. Logically, that version of Aurora would fall into a much lighter, warmer palette, meaning the pink dress would be the obvious winner since the blue dress would be much too cold for her complexion. So, with this conclusion, Team Flora scores a point for pink. Although so far we've made solid arguments for both the blue and pink dresses, there is actually a whole lot more to be said for pink, especially when you look at things from a more introspective and storytelling-driven mindset. First of all, let's explore the meaning behind her two given names, Aurora and Briar Rose. The princess's birth name, Aurora, means dawn. If a character's name truly represents who they are, then Aurora should embody the warmth and radiance of the rising sun. With that in mind, the blue dress definitely doesn't align with her character. The blue dress, with its cold tones and associations with winter and dusk, contrasts with the symbolism of dawn. The pink dress, however, is a slightly better fit, since Aurora's name ties to the break of day and her beauty is often likened to spring. After all, sunrises sometimes cast a rosy haze. While neither dress is perfect, I am happy to give pink a half point. Then there is Briar Rose, which is the name given to Aurora by her fairy godmothers to conceal her identity as they raised her in the woods. It roughly translates to Thorny Rose, although the fairies often shortened her name to just Rose. The Briar part of her name lends support to the blue dress being a good match, as thorns feel cold and unwelcoming. However, thorns also bring to mind Maleficent's curse, making them more a symbol of danger surrounding Aurora, rather than who she is. Rose, on the other hand, is soft, elegant, and quintessentially feminine, which suits her better. She's dreamy, hopeful, and graceful in her acceptance of fate, even when that fate isn't entirely fair to her. Looking at her personality through this lens, pink overwhelmingly stands out as her best match, since it captures the delicate yet resilient nature of Briar Rose. That's another strong point for Team Flora. Prince Phillip is another piece of the dress debate puzzle. He is Princess Aurora's true love, and I believe it's vital to consider how their clothes match together to show their partnership to each other. Aside from when Prince Phillip is a young child, a brief moment in the film, he spends the remainder of it dressed in dark clothes and a prominent red cape. Even his hat, as he prances through the forest, and his puffed sleeves in the final scene are coloured in a bold, vibrant red. Therefore, it is safe to say that red is the colour that canonically represents the prince. And when we think about his personality, that choice makes perfect sense for him. Red is a colour that embodies action, power, passion, and love, all qualities that define Phillip. He's a man of action, fighting an evil sorceress, cutting through endless thorns and facing a dragon head-on to save his true love. He's also deeply passionate, defying his father's wishes to marry the peasant girl he loves, who unbeknownst to him at the time is actually Princess Aurora. Phillip is bold, determined, and fearless, and red is the perfect colour to represent him. So, doesn't it then make perfect sense to believe that blue would be his counterpart? Blue is calming, serene, and peaceful, which are all qualities that represent Aurora. It also balances Phillip, acting as the yin to his yang. From a purely storytelling-driven mindset, the contrast between them feels just right, so I have to give this point to Team Merryweather and leave pink out of the picture. The last factor to consider is Sleeping Beauty's branding. When it comes to Disney's official merchandising, there's no denying that pink is Aurora's signature colour. Nearly every piece of Disney princess merchandise, whether it's dolls, costumes, or promotional artwork, feature her in pink, making it the most recognisable and marketable choice for her character. This likely isn't a coincidence. With Cinderella already claiming the iconic blue ball gown, keeping Aurora in pink helps her to stand out within the Disney princess lineup. That being said, the live-action Maleficent films threw a spanner in the works by dressing their version of Aurora primarily in soft blue gowns, bringing blue back into the equation. While this modernised her look and gave blue a strong presence, Disney's branding never wavered for the OG princess. Pink remains the colour most associated with Aurora, firmly securing it an extra point in this debate. As you can see from the scores, it was a close call. If I were choosing her best dress purely from nostalgia, I'd go with pink, since I've always associated Aurora with that soft, delicate femininity since childhood. And, with all the factors weighed up today, it turns out pink is indeed the right choice, as it just came out on top. That said, I can't help but feel a little sad as, in my storytelling heart, I'd put her in blue. It's the colour she wears the most in the film, it highlights her connection to Phillip, and it stays true to Disney's artistic vision. But I suppose at least for Phillip, you could argue that pink is just a lighter shade of red, which complements him in a different way. Either way, even if we objectively choose pink as the winner, I'd love to know what you think. Are there any factors I missed in this debate? Let me know in the comments below. Moreover, if you love style, fashion, and transformative content, be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.